Okay, back on the 39 Zenith farm radio. As you recall from the previous videos, we got the set operating pretty good. But in this video, I want to touch up the RF and IF alignment just to make sure that everything is performing as good as it can perform. I really don't think this radio is that far out of alignment, but I want to check it just to be sure. And we have our RF signal generator ready to go. So the first order of business is to turn on the radio and the signal generator and let both items warm up for about 30 minutes or so. And the purpose for that is to allow everything to heat up and stabilize, because usually when these old tube type signal generators and radios are cold, they'll sometimes drift until they warm up. So we want everything to be stable. So we'll turn the signal generator on and we'll turn the radio on and just let it warm up a while.
That was his.
Okay, our equipment is warmed up and should be ready to go. Actually, it's been on for about an hour. You know how it is when you get sidetracked with stuff. But now that everything's warmed up, the first step is to look at the alignment instructions that come with the radio, which is pretty much standard for all sets. Step 1, they want you to connect your signal generator to the first detector grid, which is the grid cap of this tube right here, the converter tube. And then they want you to, for a dummy antenna, use a 1/2 microfarad capacitor, which would connect between the positive side of the signal generator and the tube grid. We set our signal generator to 455 kilohertz, which is the IF frequency, and they want you to set the dial to 600 kilohertz, and then adjust trimmers A, B, C, and D in that order. And on the tube location chart here, they have the trimmers marked A, B, C, and D, which A, B being the first IF transformer and C and D being the second IF transformer. Okay, we now have our connections made, and we have the signal generator set to 455 kilohertz with a modulated carrier. And when doing this, you want to keep the RF output as low as possible. You want the tone to be barely audible, because if you have the output cranked way up like this, the AVC circuit in the radio will kick in and make alignment much more difficult, if not impossible. So you want the signal to be barely off. Now the objective is to tweak each one of these trimmers here for maximum output. And you can do that by ear, or you can connect an output device such as an AC voltmeter or an oscilloscope to the speaker terminals and adjust the trimmers for maximum output. So we will adjust A, B, C, and D. So we'll start out with A. Okay, I'm now turning A. Watch the meter. Whoop, that's the wrong direction. See, it gets lower. And that's about right for that. So that one wasn't far off. Now we'll do trimmer B. Whoop, that's getting lower. There we go, that's good. Now we'll do C. And D. So that takes care of the IF alignment. and actually it really wasn't off that much. Okay, step 2, they want you to connect the signal generator to the antenna lead of the receiver. Use a 200 picofarad dummy antenna. Set our signal generator to 1500 kilocycles, as well as the dial on the radio. And this sets our oscillator calibration. And this determines how accurate the dial reading is. This oscillator is off. We should be coming in at 1500. We're coming in at about 1480, so we're a little bit off there. We'll just adjust this trimmer to get it lined up properly so the dial frequency, the reading of the dial, I'll get it right after a while, will be the same as what's shown on the signal generator, 1500. We now have our signal generator set to 1500. And there we go. One problem often encountered with these old radios is sometimes you can get the oscillator to track on one portion of the dial, but not on the other. Sometimes you just have to compromise to get the best overall tracking from one end of the dial to the other. And another way you can adjust the oscillator is pick a station somewhere in the middle of the band, such as this one, 910 AM. Set the dial to the proper position, a proper approximate position, which would probably be right in there. And then adjust your oscillator trimmer until the station comes through the strongest. Okay, we have the dial about as accurate as I can get it. 910, 1010, and I do not have this connected to the antenna, by the way. That's 1290, it's a little bit off.
Every Sunday morning.
1390 is a little off. But that's about as good as we can get it for right now. Now the third step is almost identical to the second step, only they want you to adjust the antenna trimmer, which is located right under there, for maximum output. So that's what we'll do now. Okay, I'm now about to adjust the antenna trimmer, once again using a low output signal from the signal generator. Okay, and that appears to be about right. So this radio is aligned and functioning about as good as it can be expected to function, which is not bad when connected to an outside antenna. Okay, here we are connected to the outside antenna. Signal generator turned off and disconnected. And it's doing pretty good. I don't know where that interference is coming from. That's a harmonic of 1010 coming in up around 1200. I noticed that's happening on several of my radios.
Q2 came from Ireland.
And there's the hard to get station. So all that's left to do is have the speaker recone, put it back together, and it'll be good to go. Alright, there you go. Thanks for watching, and more to come later. Okay, we're back together and working. That sounds better. Get the interference producing source taken care of. It's evident you
run the show, so let me back down. You take the leading role.
Still got some work to do to the cabinet. I need to glue this veneer back down and clean it up a little bit and replace the grill cloth, and it ought to be good to go.
I don't need a storm road.
I think that's a station about 90 miles away.
Today. Working at one burger,
I think that's 870 WWL out of New Orleans. Yeah, these things don't like fluorescent lights too well.
The individual mandate is going to happen, and people are going to be shocked.
Now, one problem that decided to crop up was the off-on switch decided to develop an intermittent connection. So when I get the speaker reconed, and by the way, I temporarily installed a more modern speaker until I can get the old one reconed. But whenever I take this back apart, I will take the off-on switch apart and try to clean it.
What the kind of
it worked that time.
Or go on the exchange.
And there's the new speaker installed. It's one that I got out of an old television.
I don't think.
But I do intend to have this one reconed and put the original speaker back in it.
My question to you is this.
Now for fun, we'll test the leakiness of these old capacitors. This is capacitor number 1. Very leaky. Only applying about 50 volts. Capacitor number 2. Very leaky, just like the first one. Cap 3. Very leaky. Cap 4. Not as leaky as the other ones, but still pretty leaky. Cap 5. No surprise, leaky. Cap 6, the one replacement cap, Mallory cap from the 40s, and yep, very leaky. And the one electrolytic cap in the set appears to be open, because there's no reaction when I turn the bridge control on the capacitor tester. And here's the same cap on the modern cap meter. It's supposed to be 8 microfarad, reads 0.23, so yeah, I'd say it's open. And there you go, my 39 Zenith radio, almost done. I'll make one more video once I get the original speaker reconed and put back in there, and get the cabinet spruced up a little, and then we can call it finished. Thanks for watching. More to come later.